You're making one right decision today. You're listening to Handcuffs and Sage.
Three badass moms bringing you all the true crime and paranormal your heart desires.
I'm Red.
I'm Timo.
I'm Dre. And don't let your kids listen. Seriously, just don't.
Hey, it's Handcuffs and Sage. Woo,
Hey,
woo,
hey.
woo.
Woo!
This is Red.
Hey, this is Timo.
Hey, this is Dre.
Oh my goodness, Timo just asked us to keep it short and sweet, and bitch, that ain't happening.
Assholes.
You guys.
So sorry, guys.
Sorry. I hope y'all are having a good week. I had a great day. Do you ever just have a day just out of the blue where you feel like you just killed it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys do this. Like, as moms, we're always so hard on ourselves, always about not being perfect or able to do it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And today I felt like it was great. I got up, I meditated, I cleaned house, my family went on a hike, we had a lean and green dinner, and now we're recording. So I felt like I really just slayed today. And I'll never have a perfect day like this ever again. But at least I had it today. So that feels really good.
Yeah.
I've kind of been using my healing of my hand as an excuse to absolutely do nothing.
Yes,
because I get
nice
up and I try and do something and I'm in so much pain, but like I've been sleeping a lot and then like kind of just lounging, and that's basically what I did. My highlight was my Saints won the first wild card weekend. So we play the Bucks next week.
My Rams won, baby.
Yeah, they did.
What if we end up just killing it, man? I love watching football this time of year.
It's so much fun. Yeah, so we're playing the Bucks next in 2 weeks, I believe, or next weekend. So it's Tom Brady versus Drew Brees, both like 42, 43 starting quarterbacks. It's gonna be like bananas. It's gonna be like bananas. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
I think it's great though, Timo. You got to just rest and let your body heal, and it's okay to do nothing. Like this, that's what you're doing. You're supposed to be healing.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's just my house is a wreck, and it's just like even just to do dishes or cook dinner, it hurts sometimes. So like I'm basically doing everything one-handed, and then I'll like forget and I have like no strength in my hand. It's so weird. So I'll turn like a doorknob and I can't even like turn a doorknob. And if I try, it's so weird. Yeah, it's so weird. So anyways, we'll see. It's gonna take longer than
it's gonna be great.
Yeah. Yep.
Stay positive. You got this. How was your week, Dre?
Man, I just don't even know what day it is. That's kind of how it's going for me.
I haven't known what day it is for a long time.
We're recording. It must be Sunday.
It's Sunday.
Yeah, I was actually trying to hold this a little bit close to the cuff because I didn't want people to worry about me or
oh no, what?
Or anything. So I wasn't. You guys know, but I wasn't trying to let my family know. Because I have like my mom is kind of a worrywart. My mother-in-law is a worrywart. They all like, oh, the world's gonna end. So
the world's gonna end. I feel the same.
I volunteered. Yeah, I volunteered to work in the ICU for 3 12-hour shifts. And on day 2, I was seriously questioning my life choices.
Wow.
Why would I do this? Why?
I mean, it's really a sad place to be in right now. Everything is COVID everywhere you look, and all you hear are like, like the code blues and stuff, and it's really sad. It's sad because I feel like as nurses we're doing a lot. Don't get me wrong. I never sat down. I even forgot to drink water for 11 hours, which
Girl,
oh my gosh,
no,
is crazy.
Your water, 64 ounces.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You have a mask on that's protecting you from the COVID that's absolutely on your body, right? And the last thing you want to do is touch your mask and then put something in your mouth.
No, that makes sense. That totally makes sense.
I just feel so dirty. Water. So yeah, so like at the end of my day, I'm just kind of like, I change. I seriously hand sanitize even my face. It sounds stupid and crazy, but I'm not gonna like, I don't, because as soon as I get in the car, I start to drink my water and stuff. But I hand sanitize my arms and my neck and my ears because I have to use a stethoscope in that room. So it's been really crazy. I don't regret it, but I seriously was like, what the fuck, Dre? Why did you why did you volunteer for this? But so far I like what I'm doing, and
good.
I hope I'm making a difference, even though it doesn't feel like it.
I'm
sure
you are,
you are.
girl. You are. You're an awesome person, dude. I can't imagine just emotionally doing that, but just physically and everything. It's just, I don't know how you're doing it, but bravo.
Yeah, you're a kick-ass bitch.
I don't either.
And I always think you're just killing it. I have a surprise for you coming later this week. So I can't wait for that to happen, because I just think that you really do always do your best. And we see you. We see what you're doing, girl. I hope everyone else appreciates it, and I'm sure you make a difference. So don't question that for a second. Oh, and now you're here recording. So. Hello.
Yeah. Well, this is
slaying.
It's a good day, and I have 2 more days off, so it'll be nice.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good girl.
Girl,
okay.
Do nothing.
Yeah. Do nothing, girl.
Okay. So I know you asked us to keep it super sweet and short, Timo, but holy hell. Part 2 of Kurt Cobain is insanity. So if you guys haven't listened to Kurt Cobain Part 1, go back and listen now, because today we're doing Part 2, and there is so much here. It's so interesting. I learned so much. Kurt Cobain, was just like my everything growing up, listening to his music. I felt very affected when he passed away, but kind of, watching the documentaries, listening to podcasts, getting the information I've gotten, I had no idea that so much happened. And I'm so interested by this. And I feel like I think I solved the case, you guys.
Okay.
I want to hear it.
I solved it. You're welcome. Nobody else has to look into this. I got it. Okay?
Cool. Okay.
All right.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Buckle up, Kurt Cobain Part 2. Wow, wow, wow. Have you guys heard of Eldon Hoke?
No.
Prepare for your mind to be blown. Eldon Hoke had an interview with documentary filmmaker Nick Broomfield. He did the Kurt and Courtney documentary.
Oh, okay.
Did you guys see that?
I haven't seen it yet.
So good. So good. It was on Netflix for a long time. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. So he has an interview with this documentary filmmaker, and he straight up tells him, Yoko Ono number 2, offered me $50,000 to kill Kurt. I didn't take her up on the offer, but I know who did. And 2 days after that interview, he's dead. What? Buckle up. It's a ride today. Holy shit. So with Kurt Cobain, there's a lot of conspiracy theories as to what happened. Okay. And I think we can break it down to like 3 main theories. So one theory is that Courtney conspired with her nanny to kill Kurt. Do you guys remember the nanny, Michael DeWitt? Everyone calls him Callie. Right. Something I found out, and I didn't mention this in Part 1, is Callie is one of Courtney's exes and was still completely infatuated with Courtney and would do anything that she wanted.
That's not shady at all.
Let's keep that in mind, y'all. So number 2 theory is that Courtney conspired with Dylan Carlson to kill Kurt. So Dylan Carlson, remember, is Kurt's best friend. Okay. And then the 3rd theory is the person that Eldon Hoke names that took this $50,000 from Courtney to do this hit. And he named someone named Alan. That's it. That's The only part of the name we know, Alan. Okay.
Mm.
So we'll kind of go through these theories and then I will solve the case at the end and we can all sleep tonight. Okay. Great.
Okay.
Fantastic. So let's go back in time. Right? Back April 5th, 1994 is when Kurt Cobain dies. April 8th is when his body is discovered, remember, by Gary Smith, the electrician. And Gary was actually at the house, if you guys remember. He was actually setting up cameras, right, on the house because they had been having issues with intruders and things on the properties. So he's there setting up cameras to keep the family safe. And he looks through these French doors and he thinks it's a dummy. But then he realizes it's not a dummy. There's blood. There's a shotgun. So Gary calls his boss and he's like, yo, I'm almost done with the job, but there's a dead body here, right? So the boss doesn't call 911, of course. He calls KXRX FM radio station and talks to DJ Marty Reimers to tell him that a dead body is found at the Kurt Cobain residence. And so the DJ, the radio station, they think it's a hoax, of course, but they call the police. Okay. All of this is happening and it's just pure insanity. It really is. So the Seattle police show up and they think instantly right off the bat, it's a suicide. They look around, they take a moment, and they say suicide. Okay. And we're going to talk about why that's a problem to do that. So 3 officers show up, and these 3 officers are Joel Fuel, Van Lebedowski, and Jeff Getchman. Okay. They show up on scene, and the French doors are locked. Okay. There's French doors that are leading up to a balcony, and there's French doors leading up on the other side. So I want you to visualize there's 2 stairs, 2 sets of French doors, okay? And they're locked.
Now this is the room above the garage you're talking about, the little
that's correct. Okay, so the one on the west side is the one that Gary Smith was able to look through. The one on the east side that also leads to a balcony is where the fire department breaks the glass. The glass goes everywhere, even on top of the body. So that's awesome. So that happens on the east side. When they get inside, Kurt's left hand is still on the shotgun barrel. His face is intact. There was a rumor that was going around that his license was, like laid out near his body, saying, that it was a suicide. And that was his way of saying, like, to identify me, kind of a thing. But that was a rumor. It was not laid out. It was actually in his wallet that was on the ground nearby. On the scene, there's a brown corduroy jacket, 1 single spent shotgun shell casing, $120 in cash, a cigar box with drug paraphernalia in it, a brown paper bag with 22 shotgun shells. The original package had 25. So we have 1 shell that ended Kurt's life and 2 still left in the shotgun. 3 coroners and 3 homicide detectives show up on scene, and they quickly say, this is a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Okay?
Okay, wait. I'm confused because...
Yes, sure.
You said his face is intact, but it's a shotgun, and it's still laying in his chest? Okay. Shady. I don't remember any of this back in the day. So I'm like flabbergasted right now. Okay.
Oh, hold on to your butts.
Okay.
This is crazy. One of the coroners, Nicholas Hartsham, he's a medical professional. He was actually not a coroner at the time. He was actually had a nickname, Dr. Death, and his nickname came because he was like an adrenaline junkie. He did like base jumping and skydiving and all this stuff. And he actually died later from a base jumping accident. Okay. But at the time, he was only 30 years old and he hadn't finished his accreditation. So he was like more of an intern. Okay. Right. And he was like besties with the head detective on the case. And the lead detective said, no, this is a suicide. And he really didn't want to, you know, say, no, you're wrong. He's basically an intern, right?
Oh my God.
Also, fun fact, Nicholas is very good friends with Courtney Love.
Come on.
Yep. It is said that they are very good friends, and he actually had like a real thing for her. I hear that over and over again, which kind of blows my mind because she's so nasty. She's so gross, dude.
She always looks dirty.
Yeah.
She always looks like she's on day 7. Okay, take a shower, bitch.
And you know,
seriously.
And then she played in the Flint versus whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she was so gross in that movie too, which was how that lady in real life really was. So it was like perfect casting.
Yeah.
Nailed it. We need someone dirty right now.
She didn't even have to try.
Yep. Didn't even have to try. So obviously this is a conflict of interest, right?
Absolutely.
We shouldn't be having this connection here, this person making a decision on the case. Right. So Vernon J. Gerberth, he's a retired lieutenant commander with the New York City Police Department. And he actually wrote lots of things about a proven phenomenon that he found, that in several examples of cases that first look like murders are actually staged suicides. And they go undetected for a long time due to lazy police work, he said. And this is, you know, a lieutenant commander saying this. You know, of course, he loves police officers, but when you show up on scene and it looks like a suicide, you instantly just go, it's a suicide, right? There's just a lack of follow through with a lot of things. If you showed up and you said this is a murder, you would take more steps, right, to prove who did it. Does that make sense?
Right.
So this is a phenomenon that happens. So keep that in mind. So I want to talk a little bit about the gun. Fun fact, there is a lack of fingerprints on the shotgun.
Oh.
They couldn't find a single one of Kurt's fingerprints on the shotgun or the shells or the suicide note. Yeah, so let's talk. There's 2 types of fingerprints, visible and latent. Obviously, visible fingerprint is when, like, if like a surface is dirty and somebody touches it, right, you can see it, right? Latent is something that has to be like lifted with tape or the powder, and then they can look at that and figure out who it belongs to. They weren't able to find any legible fingerprints connected to anybody. It's almost like somebody touched these items and they were wiped and smudged. So obviously Kurt shot himself and then said, hold up, grabbed a towel and just started wiping shit down. So let's just remember all of that fun stuff, okay? Let's talk about the suicide note just a little bit. I did not know this, but the suicide note was actually addressed to Kurt's childhood imaginary friend, Boda. Weird.
What?
Right? Which is very odd. Usually suicide notes are to what? Family, loved ones, right? Things like that. So it's very odd that it's made out to Boda. And it really talks about his relationship with the music industry. There's 570 words in this note, and the only thing that's personal is 4 lines at the bottom that mentions Kurt's family, and it is in completely different writing than the rest of the note. The whole first part of this suicide note sounds more like a resignation letter with the music industry, that he was just done with it. And it does come out later that at that time, Nirvana had decided to break up. Okay. So this letter is talking about how he's kind of done with the music industry. And then if you look at the note, the last 4 lines, it looks like a 10-year-old wrote it. It's insane. It does not make sense, right? So police officers make a copy of the note for his family to have, and then Detective Grant analyzes it. He says it's written with a different instrument or like a finer point pen, or it's written by somebody else using less pressure. So there's an obvious difference in this letter, okay? So the original note is sent to a forensic document examiner, Janice Parker, and she works on this for 2 weeks. And on April 22nd, 1994, her conclusion is that it is all written by Kurt, but they are saying that handwriting analysis isn't an exact science, okay? It's not like DNA, right? There's areas where you could be wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Some people are saying with the suicide note, the first part, is it written the way it's written because he's sober? And then the last part is written while he's intoxicated. Okay.
Okay.
The toxicology report says that 1.52 milligrams per liter of heroin was in his blood. That is 3 times the lethal limit. Okay. So I want to talk about how the process is with heroin and how it is crazy town to even think that he could write anything that high.
Right.
Okay. I've been high, not on heroin, but he was real high. All right. He was all the high that anyone could ever be high. So heroin has 3 active metabolites. Okay. We're going to get real sciencey. Don't fall asleep on me, Timo. This is heroin talk. Okay. So it has morphine. It has 3 dasalamorphine and 6 dasaletymorphine. Okay. Let's talk about 6. 6 is the one that gives you those initial feelings like, oh shit, yeah. And it hits your system, it hits your bloodstream, and it goes through that blood-brain barrier, okay? Jorg Moreland, who was a researcher, gave a breakdown of how it kind of moves through your body. And he said that it's like about 30 minutes when that number 6, it just dominates your body. It gives you that dopamine high where that's why people give up their families, right? Because that dopamine high is so fucking amazing, right? And they're total euphoric, okay? And then at the hour marker is when it turns into morphine. And that feeling lasts for hours, okay? So they're saying...
And I'm sorry, Red. So morphine is basically like a painkiller, right?
Yeah.
Does it put you to sleep too? Dre?
Sure. Have you ever seen that? Like someone shoot up and they do the right? That happens pretty instantly. You've seen that?
Yeah, on TV, but not like I mean,
not in real life in front of you. That's good. That's good news. That is excellent news. Right. I just really want to put this into perspective here. So Roger Lewis, he's a Canadian chemist. He looked at these toxicology cases of 1,526 heroin deaths. Okay, he's looking at these deaths. 26 of them had the levels that Kurt had when he died. And he said that at that level, they all either instantly died or were immediately incapacitated and still had the syringe right in their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt did not have the syringe still in his body. Okay. Kurt apparently shot up 3 times the lethal limit, rolled down his sleeves, put everything away in the cigar box, laid towels down for the mess, laid the fuck down, put a shotgun that was, about 70% of his body in length, and pulled the trigger somehow, even though he couldn't have reached it with his hand. So Detective Grant is on this case. After Kurt's body is found, he looks at all of the credit card transactions. He's trying to trace kind of like what Kurt did those final few days. On April 8th, $43 was used to buy flowers. And this was just hours before his body was discovered. Okay. The credit card was not in the wallet next to the body. It was never found. They later found out, of course, that Kurt had been dead for 3 days. So Kurt's not out buying flowers for anyone, right? Mm-hmm. So he's not using the credit card. But something to remember is that Kurt used that credit card to buy the plane ticket, to fly to Seattle, to have that conversation with Callie at 6 a.m, and then apparently leave to go do some other things we'll talk about. So someone took his credit card during that time, right? Kurt wasn't the one using it. One of the theories that I kind of mentioned and that Detective Grant, puts out there is that he believes that Courtney was involved, that she maybe obviously worked with someone because she wasn't in that location, but maybe had someone hold him down, hold the gun, put his hand on it and shoot, and then close the doors behind them. Okay, so that's what Detective Grant's theory is. All right.
Horrible.
And he still says that to this day. He thought that Courtney was so crazy that he taped all of their interactions while he was working for her. She hired him to find Kurt. He thought she cray and taped everything. And then he later he released everything to the public on his website. And you can hear how crazy she is during all of this. It's insanity. Okay.
I want to hear it.
I want to tell you about Detective Grant, just so you know that this guy is a total badass, and I think everyone should just believe everything he says. Okay. So Grant joined the LAPD in 1969 at 22 years old. He was just a baby.
Oh, dang.
Baby. After a year on patrol, he was chosen to be on this like elite crime activity team where they worked undercover. He was a total badass. And then in 1972, he was promoted to detective, and he was one of the youngest in the country to be doing that. So this guy is legit, okay? But by 1975, he's really feeling burnt out, and he opens a music store in Malibu, and he says he just wanted to enjoy some peace and not deal with any criminals, for a while, poor guy. He's been through it, right? But unfortunately, the store goes under within 2 years. So then Grant starts his own business as a private investigator, and the LAPD has nothing but good things to say about him, and he's highly respected by people in his field. Okay, he's legit. Okay, so he does not agree with the official report that it's a suicide. Courtney told him she felt like Kurt was having an affair with this drug dealer, Caitlin, in Seattle. She was obsessed with this thought and even asked Grant to have surveillance put on Caitlin's home. Kurt was never seen to be at Caitlin's home, just FYI. Never seen this. So then Grant sets up a meeting with Cobain's entertainment attorney, Rosemary Carroll. Okay. This was April 13th in Los Angeles. Now, Rosemary was their attorney, but she was also their friend. And damn, does she have some information, okay? Remember, Kurt had recently requested Courtney to be removed from the will, right?
Yeah.
Rosemary told Grant that Courtney had asked her to find the most vicious divorce lawyer she could find, right? Courtney had been removed, but it was invalid because it wasn't ever signed. Okay. So if he died, she got everything. If they divorced, she got nuggets. Okay. Obviously, him dying was what would have helped her financially in the long run. Okay. Rosemary Carroll urged Detective Grant to investigate the death more. She said she had seen Courtney practicing someone else's handwriting.
Wow.
Some of Kurt's notes were found in her backpack with notes that she had underlining and writing letters, the same words that were found in those last 4 lines of the suicide note.
Oh, come on. How all this evidence
Yes.
is killing me right now.
Yes. Rosemary Carroll, the attorney, said she found a memo that Courtney had made to herself. And in the memo to herself, like as a note, like, don't forget, she put, get arrested. Yeah. Courtney wrote memos for everything. Like, this is a well-known thing. Like, she would write a note to herself, get famous, become friends with so-and-so, to meet so-and-so, to be friends with so-and-so, and then she would do it, right? Like a crazy person, okay? And then she did. She got arrested, remember, for drug possession and having a doctor's prescription pad. And they said it was like the best alibi ever because she was like, well, I was arrested.
Right.
Right? Hello. Okay. It all is just crazy. It is crazy. So let's talk about the band members a little bit. So Dave Grohl and Chris Novoselic, they both believe that Kurt did kill himself. They said that Kurt was really, really depressed. Okay. And they said that they hate Courtney, but they don't think that she killed him. So that's their take on it. And they really do. They fucking hate Courtney. In 2001, Courtney sued them both over some unreleased song, You Know You're Right. That's what the song was called. They countersued her. They had to like come to an agreement about this song being allowed on this album. She wanted the Nirvana LLC to be taken down, but they won that. It was left intact. So they have a very contentious relationship. They hate Courtney Love. Okay. They fucking hate her, but they still think that Kurt killed himself, but they obviously don't do deep dives like we're doing. I solved it.
Right.
In 2011, Courtney actually accused Dave Grohl of seducing her daughter, Frances, which I had no effing clue about. And to this day, Frances has never said anything about this situation. So who knows what the fuck Courtney is talking about?
Like at what age?
I don't know. It doesn't say. Yeah. So in 2014, Nirvana was being inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Courtney said she ended the feud with both the guys, you know, at this event. And she like tweeted a picture, like hugging Dave. And, you know, it was just disgusting. And she said, the most magical part of the evening. Thank you, Dave. Love you. I know this made him smile up there. Like, all good now. Sorry, I was a crazy bitch.
Yeah.
So that, of course, tweeting makes it officially over, I guess. But something that people are saying is that Courtney definitely has something to do with this, and that the overdose in Rome a month prior to when he died was kind of like a setup for this, right? Remember how they had champagne and roofies sent to the room?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he said he was not trying to kill himself. And she said, no, he was trying to kill himself, right? So this happened in Rome, and at the hospital, he was treated by Dr. Oswald Galetta, and he said, no, I don't think he was trying to kill himself. He just took a little too much of the fun stuff, and it got out of hand, or somebody gave him too much of the fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't think he was trying to kill himself at that time.
Right.
But Courtney can't stop saying it, right? He's suicidal, he's suicidal, right? So, I mean, some people say, well, maybe she didn't have anything to do with it, because during that time in Rome, when he had too much champs and roofies, she was the one to call 911, okay? So there's always this back and forth, like, did she have something to do with it, or she didn't have something to do with it, right? It's crazy. It's just crazy to me. Courtney says that he left a suicide note in Rome with that attempt. And in the note, it just said he was sick of touring. He didn't want to tour anymore, that Courtney didn't love him anymore. He accused her of cheating on him with Billy Corgan. It said, I'd rather die than go through another divorce, kind of talking about going through his parents' divorce and how he didn't want to go through a divorce. That's what they say is in this note. But Courtney says she burned this note.
Okay.
This fucking bitch did. So Tom Grant, Detective Grant, says that he thought it was really fucking weird that Courtney told him that she pretended to be Kurt's mom while making a missing report for him. So she calls into the police station, pretend to be Kurt's mom to file this missing persons report, and she tells them that he's suicidal. So again, why are you pretending to be somebody else? Why are you trying to put it out there that he's suicidal? So he feels like she's just planting all these little seeds all over the place, right? Detective Grant even at one point went on the Tom Lakis show. This is a radio show, and he says straight out, I think Courtney and Callie are involved in his death. He puts it out there. He said that after he had this radio show interview where he says this, that instead of Courtney being like, what the fuck? She calls him up to give him more work, more PI work. And he said it was like she was trying to offer me hush money to shut the fuck up. And he was like, no, bitch. No, thanks. I'll pass. Peace. You shady. He said she's a cunning, shady bitch. Well, he didn't say that. I said she's a cunning, shady bitch in my notes. Okay, so with the gun, I want to talk about this just for a hot second. This gun is a Remington M11 20 gauge shotgun. The gun was not examined for a full month after his death. What? What now? What happened? Right? Again, if somebody says it's suicide, they really don't get on top of shit to test shit to do the shit. Okay. So it's not examined for a full month after his death until May 6, 1994. And again, they didn't find any fingerprints. Fun fact, fingerprints don't just disappear after a month either. Okay. It's not like during that time they would have gone bye-bye. Okay. The original police report for GSR gunshot residue. In the report, it is said that GSR was found on Kurt, like he shot himself. A year later, the police department comes out and says, actually, that's not true, some rookie cop just added that into the report.
Oh no.
Okay. 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 Let's talk about the gun. This is a very long gun. The barrel is about 28 inches long. The gun itself in full is about 50 inches long. Okay. Kurt Cobain, my soulmate, was 5'9", which is 69 inches. The gun is about 70% of his height. So he would have had to pull it or somehow use his sneakers, his shoes to have it go off. Okay. Otherwise, the gun would have had to be like lodged through his head. I'm not trying to be disgusting or anything, but the length of it doesn't even make sense. Okay. Some people say, well, what if he's standing up? Okay. If he's standing up, he still can't reach it. There's been demos. And even if he could, with the trajectory, there would have been blood on his shoes before he went down. Does that make sense? There's no blood anywhere.
Wait,
it does not.
This is blowing my mind. No blood can we talk about where the gunshot was?
Yes, so sure. So when he's laying down, his face was still intact, but they said that just looking at him, you couldn't tell that he was like shot exactly. It was when they turned his head, so it was coming out. Okay. There was one spent casing that should have been found on the right side based on if you shoot, it goes to the right. Okay. So out of that hole, right, it goes right. It was found on the left side.
Oh God.
They said that the gun would have had to be turned 180 degrees to make that happen. So somebody must have shot the gun that he couldn't have. Can you believe that shit?
No.
Can you believe that shit?
I'm just getting more angrier and angrier right now.
And then the other thing is, you mentioned too that he was holding on to the gun, but that doesn't happen when there's a suicide.
That's correct. That's correct. So something Forensic Files also taught Little Red is that when somebody shoots themselves, like in movies, like their hands on the gun, that doesn't happen. Okay. That hand goes flying off. It does not stay in the gun. Okay. So I'm going to pull back and we're going to talk about that second theory real quick. Okay. April 2nd, Kurt arrives in Seattle very early. Okay. He shows up at the house. The house is empty except for Michael DeWitt, who we call Callie, who it turns out is Courtney's ex, one of Courtney's exes. And he sits on the bed and has a small talk at 6 a.m. And then after their chit chat, Kurt takes a taxi to town. The taxi driver says that Kurt wants to find a place to buy bullets because his home has recently been burglarized. And that actually did happen. The house was recently burglarized. Again, that's why that electrician had been there to install security equipment when he found the body. The taxi driver dropped Kurt off at a place called Seattle Guns. He purchased the same ammunition found in the brown paper bag, and a receipt was found in the bag. Okay. Callie refuses to talk about this, refuses to talk to Detective Grant about what happened, refuses to talk to anyone about what happened. And I find that very suspicious because if you have nothing to hide, why can't you just say we had a combo, right? Or nothing happened. He refuses to do it. So on April 7th, Detective Grant and Kurt's bestie Dylan were asked to return back to the house because Courtney told them to. Remember, Courtney said, go back to the house to look for, maybe a gun. Look for a gun there. Maybe it's in my closet. Dylan and Detective Grant, they don't find the shotgun, But they find a note from Callie to Kurt. And Detective Grant feels like Courtney sent them to the house to actually find this note that was left out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in the note, Callie is basically talking shit to Kurt for not calling Courtney and couldn't believe he came to the house without telling him. But we know that Callie had told Courtney Kurt had been there and that they had this conversation at 6 a.m. Why is he leaving a note pretending like he never saw Kurt and all this shit? Right?
Right.
Seems shady as fuck. And by the time Detective Grant has this note, Callie is on his way to Los Angeles to take care of Francis because Courtney got arrested and then OD'd and had all of this fun stuff going on, right? She has like a million alibis going on at this point. So did Callie have something to do with killing Kurt? Right? So that's another theory. Theory 3. This is a quick one. Kurt's bestie, Dylan Carlson, he didn't show Detective Grant that room above the garage when they were looking for Kurt, right? They were going all over looking at all the properties, well-known places in Seattle, but didn't show him that room, which is weird, okay? And when Detective Grant asked Dylan why, he said, well, it's just like some dirty little room. I didn't think he would be there. But then he later said in interviews that he didn't even know that the room existed at all. So that's conflicting. Also, Dylan bought the gun that was used to end Kurt's life. Okay. Dylan had a serious drug problem. Okay. But it seems like he really loved Kurt. He said he would have never bought the gun and if he thought Kurt was suicidal. And there's really not enough evidence. There really isn't to say Dylan did this. And my feeling is that he didn't. I really don't think so. Okay. So in 1997, Eldon Hoke claims that he knows who killed Kurt Cobain. Eldon Hoke's nickname is El Duce. What kind of nickname is that? El Duce. Okay, so he's like a musician in Seattle, like everyone else in Seattle. And he says that Courtney offered him $50,000 to kill Kurt. He says he doesn't take the offer, but he knows who did. El Duce went on really, really nice shows at the time. Jerry Springer. He talked to the National Enquirer, right? And so everyone was saying he's just saying this shit to be in the spotlight, to be part of something, of course. But he actually passed a polygraph with his story, which is kind of crazy. So was he telling the truth, right? In Nick Broomfield's documentary, Kurt and Courtney, he said he didn't take the offer from Courtney, but the person who did take the offer, his name was Alan. So who the fuck is Alan? No last name, nothing else about Alan. There's supposed to be like a follow-up interview to get more information, right? But 2 days later, he was found dead, decapitated by a train in Riverside, California.
What the fuck?
El Duce was found decapitated, y'all. Does this feel like we're talking about the Clintons a little bit? You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, so El Duce was an alcoholic. Okay, he was a serious alcoholic. It was shown that he was drunk at the time he died, right? And he was drunk during the documentary interview. He was a serious alcoholic, but he did pass that polygraph. And is that because he believed it or was it true? Right? And who the fuck is Alan? I just feel like we need to find Alan. Apparently there's a Seattle musician that people kind of know. His name is Alan Wrench, but there's no evidence that this is the Alan that El Duce was talking about in the interview. So we have no fucking clue. Okay. Yeah, crazy. So I think I have solved it.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let me just say that this is because I've done a deep dive and I'm a professional true crime person, that I can say this. So nobody else should even like try to do this on any given day. Okay. I believe that Courtney and Callie conspired together and killed Kurt. Obviously, Callie's at this house when apparently he killed himself. He lied about having any action with Kurt. He helped Courtney with this alibi setup. They talk about how the gun, was so long he wouldn't even be able to use it himself. There's no fingerprints. Everything's put away. His sleeves are rolled down. He would have had 3 times the amount needed. I mean, he would have either instantly died or been instantly incapacitated. And there was a study that found that not a single person is known that shot up heroin and then killed themselves. Not a single case. Because when you shoot yourself up with heroin, you got that dopamine high. You're feeling good. Mm-hmm. You don't then go pick up a shotgun and shoot yourself. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't make sense. When you're feeling like the greatest fucking high of your life, you don't pick up a shotgun and kill yourself. It just doesn't make sense. The syringe wasn't in his arm. Everything was put away. Towels were laid out. The suicide doesn't even make a goddamn sense. She's known to be working on forging his notes, his words, his letters. It just does not add up. And I think Detective Grant, he's the real fucking deal. If he thinks that's what's happened, I think that's what's happened. So obviously Detective Grant and I need to work together on the daily solving cases, right? For sure. I think this is such a sad story because Kurt Cobain, I think, had a serious drug problem. He was seriously depressed, but I think that he was just overwhelmed with everything going on with the music, with Courtney, with the addiction. But I don't think he killed himself. I don't think that that's what's happened here. I think Courtney Love is a shady bitch, and you heard it here first. She's the one that made Kurt sign this prenup, remember? Mm-hmm. But because of that prenup, it was going to screw her big time if they got divorced. He had, right? She was going to make a lot more if he died. She's so sad. Just the fucking worst, dude. So I think she absolutely had something to do with that, her and Callie. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Isn't that sad, you guys? This is so sad. None of this even makes sense. I don't think I mentioned it, but something that also really bothered me is that the gun that he had, I guess he had gotten like a low power rifle on purpose because he didn't even want to ever shoot the gun, just like scare if intruders, right? If there was ever intruders in the home. So the recoil on it couldn't have even moved a casing, like the police department said that casing got moved to because it was so low power. It was so low power that this shotgun, the bullets didn't even go through his head. It's just crazy. None of this makes sense. The police report doesn't make sense. The conflict of interest with the coroner intern being besties with the head detective and friends with Courtney Love. Just what the hell is happening? None of this makes sense. This is craziness. And it makes me so fucking sad.
The case has never been like reopened and like look like what the fuck?
No, they actually have a lot of like people Oh, there's a couple different people. Let me grab this name because there's someone who's been looking into this, like some head forensic pathologist has been working on this case for like 20 years because he doesn't believe it's suicide. But you guys, if something is ruled as suicide, do you know how hard it is to have that overturned once that's done?
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's so hard to go back and have things reopened and reinvestigated once that suicide is stamped and delivered. It's just crazy. This is going to always just kind of nag at me and bother me. Just so many things got fucked up and things don't add up. But I would like to thank Forensic Files for really helping me along the way because I've learned so much. Thanks, Forensic Files.
Let's do a little fun paranormal cryptid. Cryptid today, y'all. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Give me a cryptid.
All right, so I have a little quote for you. She felt very calm, and instead of running away, she just continued to stare. For whatever reason, she felt that the Jersey Devil was actually guarding the Smithsville Inn and protecting it like some kind of guardian angel. So I'm doing the Jersey Devil, aka Leeds Devil, and that was a quote from a Fran Coppola, and she's the owner of a really well-known like hotel bed and breakfast, the Smithsville Inn. And she said this after one night she walked out at night to take the trash out, and she came face to face with the Jersey Devil, and she actually felt like, she wasn't afraid of it. She didn't run away. She just kind of thought that it was there to protect her and her patrons, which is bananas when you guys hear the whole story.
What?
But yeah.
To protect?
Yeah, protect. Yeah. So
she saw a devil and was like, it's cool. You good.
Right.
No feelings. What? Okay, Fran. Have another gin and tonic, okay?
Oh yeah, I'm sure she had quite a few of those or something else.
She had a few.
The Jersey Devil is well known in southern New Jersey and a little bit in Philadelphia. It's mainly in the Pine Barrens, and the Pine Barrens is in South New Jersey. And basically the earth is sandy, acidic, and poor nutrients where nothing grows. So even back in the days when the settlers came, they couldn't settle there because they couldn't grow crops. They couldn't do anything there.
Oh,
it's
frustrating.
Yeah, it's just like and it's right on the coast too. So you think that would be just such like a beautiful place to settle, but no, the soil is just horrible. So this is a 300-year-old legend. And the reason why it has two names. It has the Jersey Devil, hence because it's in New Jersey, and the Leeds Devil, it's also called, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. But it's a cryptid. It's bipedal. It has a head of a horse. What? It has horns, or kind of like antlers, claws, hoofs. It has a forked tail. It has bat-like wings, red eyes, and it screeches this horrible screeching scream sound. And yeah, it's crazy.
Fran saw it and was like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's her guardian angel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, crazy.
Okay, Fran. If I saw something like that outside, I'd piss myself, my knees would buckle, and I would cry.
But you know what? Her inn is like really well known, and people go there because of the Jersey Devil. So, maybe it's whatever, Fran. So the Jersey Devil lives in the Pine Barrens. That's where it lives. And it's been seen by thousands since the 1700s. There's an actual story of how it came to be. Now, most cryptids, it's seen. We don't know where it came from. Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, whatever. It's just this multiple eyewitnesses have seen it. But like, where was it created? Where was it born? Where are its parents? We don't know. But we do know.
Just kidding.
But we do know how the Jersey Devil came about, and I'm going to tell you that. Okay. So in 1735, 50-year-old Deborah Leeds. Now, a little fun fact, Leeds is one of the names of the earliest settlers in the southern New Jersey area, and family with that name can still be found in New Jersey today. She became pregnant with her 13th child.
No.
Ouch.
Stop it.
Ouch.
That's
She
my
was-
nightmare. 13. Give me a break.
She was known as Mother Leeds, and she was said to be a healer, a midwife, and she practiced the pagan religion. And she was also married to like the drunk of the town that didn't provide for his family.
Oh, honey. That's
So when
sad.
she
13
yes,
kids with the drunk of the town?
yes.
Oh,
So
my
she was
Lord.
pissed, dude. When she became pregnant, she was like, no, this is not happening. So she went outside, she lifted her arms to the sky and screamed to the heavens, let this one be the devil.
What? Why does she want to have the devil?
Oh.
Why didn't she just ask for, maybe other things to happen? She asked for the devil?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead
So
with
a
the
few
story.
months later, she went into labor, and it happened to be during this violent thunderstorm. Okay. So we got rain, wind, lightning, thunder, craziness, right?
Ugh.
And she forgot about her whole little wish that she had done, right? So the
She
birth,
forgot about asking to have
Uh-huh.
a devil baby? Okay.
so the birth was exceptional. It was just normal, easy, and she gave birth to a baby boy that was healthy and normal. But within minutes, the baby began to change. It transformed into a hideous monster. Its face formed into a snout like a horse, and horns sprouted from its head. Talons ripped through its fingertips. A forked tail grew from its back end. Leathery bat-like wings grew out of its back, and fur began to grow all over its body. Its eyes grew into these huge oval openings and started to glow red. Its legs grew and its feet turned into hoofs. It snarled and screamed and made this terrifying screeching sound, and then savagely turned and attacked and killed its mother. Then
Yes.
it turned
kidding.
and attacked a few
What?
others that were in the room, spreading its wings, biting and clawing at them, shrieking and screaming the whole time. And then it flew up the chimney, breaking all the stone apart and leaving it a pile of rubble, and then flew off into the night.
Holy shitballs. So
Yeah.
she asked for a devil baby. A
Uh-huh.
devil baby came out of her hoo-ha.
Uh-huh.
It killed her, maybe some others in the room. It flew up a goddamn chimney, left a mess, didn't pick it up, and now we've got the Jersey Devil just doing whatever the fuck.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
All
yep.
right.
So
I catch on. This is crazy.
So to this day, it terrorizes the Pine Barrens and anything and anyone that's unfortunate to encounter it. Some believe that the devil actually fathered the child. So this is a real life Rosemary's Baby, y'all.
And she asked for
Because
it.
it was her
Damn.
13th child, it was already cursed to begin with, because the
Oh my
13 is
goodness.
a known.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then also it says that since she practiced the pagan religion, she was an actual witch. So she wished it and it happened. So there's that to think about as well.
But are they saying that she got down funky style with the devil, or
Possibly.
she didn't actually have relations with the devil?
Well, in Rosemary's Baby, she was
Right.
like drugged, and
Right.
she ended up having sex with the devil. So,
Right.
and she didn't know it. So, I mean, that could have happened.
Mhm.
I'm
And it
gonna
could've-
be honest.
Mhm.
The thing that probably drove her crazy was the laundry, yo. I'm gonna keep it real. Laundry
It's a lot of
kids,
clothing.
yeah. Set any mama off, and you're having it for 12 kids already so far. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
take me away,
Mhm.
devil.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't want no more laundry. And they don't even have a washer or dryer like we have today.
No. No, they don't.
Yeah.
And they don't
That
have
would
throwaway diapers either. So all those babies had like cloth diapers.
fuck my life. Oh, everything about that is awful and a nightmare, and I would want nothing to do with any of it.
Well, it was over for her anyways because the devil baby killed her. So
that is correct.
Maybe she knew that was gonna happen. So she's like, fuck that. Let me have your baby so you can kill me.
I will have your devil baby.
I'm over
no
this.
No more laundry, no more dishes, no more drunk husband sex. She's over it.
Oh, okay. So since then, in the 18th and 19th centuries, the Jersey Devil has been encountered numerous times. And mostly the horrifying screams are heard from the dark forest constantly. Countless amounts of livestock are found mutilated and killed. So this is like, we're going 200 years, y'all, 200 years of just this shit happening, okay? Almost like the Mothman. Remember when I did the Mothman, they said that if you saw the Mothman, he was kind of like a warning of something bad was going to happen. They thought the same thing as the Jersey Devil. But when something else went wrong, whether crops didn't grow great that year, something caught on fire, somebody got sick, it was always the Jersey Devil. They always blamed the Jersey Devil. It was his fault all the time. So then he soon left his boundaries of the Pine Barrens and he entered into the nearby villages and towns. The most infamous events when this happened was during the week of January 16th through the 23rd of 1909. This is considered the Jersey Devil's reign of terror. Massive reports of strange footsteps found in the snow across yards, fields, backyards, rooftops, spread as far to cities of Camden and Philadelphia. So during this time, they were just seeing these strange hoofed footprints everywhere through all these towns and villages, okay? Ooh. And it was pandemonium, y'all. Panic arose. It was mass hysteria. Schools closed, factories closed.
What?
Doors in towns closed.
Pandemic style, baby.
Yeah.
Children were kept inside. No one ventured out during the night, and everyone carried guns. Posses were formed to hunt and kill this creature. When spotted, guns exploded, but it would not be brought down, even though it was hit many times. So they've seen it. They've shot at it, they've hit it, and it wouldn't affect it at all, in no way. Then it started to appear during the day, where it terrorized a trolley car full of passengers in Haddon Heights before flying away, leaving in its wake many eyewitnesses. Everyone said that it looked like a large flying kangaroo.
So during the day, people are on this trolley, obviously not following stay-at-home orders, and it attacks this trolley, and there's many eyewitnesses. So obviously, this is real. This happened.
Newspapers during that time reported the front page, some type of sighting or incident with the Jersey Devil. There were also countless interviews of respectful eyewitnesses, such as police officers, judges, and the high society, well-respected people. So it wasn't just like your farmers, y'all, where they said, my chickens are being killed. There was eyewitnesses of like, you know, the well-respected
good standing people. Okay.
Right.
Fantastic.
So now there's theories, many theories of what it is. Was it really the devil's child? Was it the devil himself? Some believe it's a demonic entity or an actual demon because of its inconsistency of its appearance. It constantly changes for the eyewitnesses. Some say it has a horse head. Some say it has a goat's head. Sometimes it has horns like a devil. Sometimes it has antlers. Some say it looked like a flying kangaroo. Some says it doesn't. So it constantly changes per the eyewitnesses. And it also has the ability to be seen and then not be seen, like within an instance. You see it and then you don't. You go after it, it's gone. You try and look for it again, it's gone. So this is why people think it might be some type of demon, because it has these like paranormal powers.
Interesting.
It's definitely an immortal creature because it's lived for 300 years. It's been around that long. There's a Native American tribe called the Lenape. They have a legend of a flying creature, and it kind of looks like a dragon. So they have this legend that there was this creature back in the day that looked like a dragon, and their land where they lived translated to place of the dragon. And then if we go back to the Leeds family crest is this little dragon looking creature.
What?
So they think that maybe it's some type of dragon creature. Then this is a good one. They claim it could be a pterosaur. Now, a pterosaur is one of those flying dinosaurs that they have actually found fossils for. The fossils have wings, a tail, and some type of like horse head snout skull. But they think this is not, they can't prove this because there would be generations and generations of remains where they would find fossils to this day.
Right.
So,
right.
But what
and it's
they
not like
say,
people are finding these type of bones.
Right.
Right.
But what they're saying,
the
it kind of matches what they're saying and what the pterosaurs looked like back in the day. Now we're going to go into the sightings. 17th century Joseph Bonaparte, who happens to be the brother of Napoleon Bonaparte, he was once the king of Spain, and his throne was taken, so he decided to retreat to America and ended up settling in New Jersey. He was out hunting one day when he saw these weird hoofed tracks in the snow. He followed the tracks and ended up coming face to face with the Jersey Devil. He went to shoot at it and it flew away. Now, I guess this Joseph Bonaparte was kind of like shady, y'all. So they think that maybe he made up this whole story so that he could maybe become like famous in society. But that was one of the first recorded sightings after the whole, when the Jersey Devil was born from
like
Mother
he
Leeds.
Definitely would have wanted to go into Jerry Springer, talk to National Enquirer, right? Share
exactly
what happened to him, of course.
Right.
Isn't it Bonaparte?
Did I say Bonaparte?
Yeah. Is it Bonaparte?
Bonaparte.
Okay,
I don't know.
Sure. You know it. Apples, oranges, whatever the fuck that saying
Tomato,
is.
tomato.
Bones, spawns.
Sure. All of that.
Moving on to the early 1800s, Stephen Dakar, he was a U.S. Navy Commodore. He was in a field in New Jersey, and he saw this flying creature over the field. They fired cannons at it. He said a cannonball went straight through it and it continued to fly away.
Was it a UFO? Okay. That's what happens. All right.
Well, if it is an actual demon, I'm sure that the cannonball cannot kill it. So, there's that.
Correct.
This is yummy, y'all. There's a small village with a pig farmer. He reported that all his pigs were slaughtered in the evening.
No.
He came out and he noticed that there was a big chunk taken out of the back of each of their heads. There were scratches on all of their backs and their brain was gone. Those were the only injuries of the pigs. So it went from pig to pig, did that. So it only wanted the back of its skull and the brain, I guess.
That's so gross and sad.
And then in 1920,
they still ate those pigs later?
I know.
Yeah. Bacon?
Like bacon.
Was bacon still possible?
Yeah, I'm sure it's still possible.
Can I still have the bacon?
I'm a bacon whore. I'll always be a bacon whore.
Give me that pork belly.
Sorry. Okay. In 1927, there was a cab driver who got a flat. He pulled over. Now, this was in the days of there's no street lights. And he saw this huge creature that tried to fly in and attack him. So he climbed into his cab, freaking out. The thing landed on his roof, started pounding on the roof, and then eventually it flew away.
Was he drunk? Maybe doing the little shrooms. Okay. I think somebody made up a story as to why they were late for dinner for their wife. That's what happened here.
This sounds a lot like Jeepers Creepers too.
Oh yeah, it surely does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, in 1972, Mary Christensen was driving down Green Tree Road. I guess this is a really popular road over there in the Pine Barrens. She saw a huge creature in the road, and it crossed in front of her car as she got close to it. As soon as it crossed, she sped the hell up, and then she watched it in her rearview mirror as she drove away, and it just sat there and stared at her car and didn't move. Creepy.
Oh, and I wish they had phones that they could take pictures.
I know.
Bummer,
well, there is some pictures, and I'll talk about one of those. In 1963, Paul Peterson, when he was a kid, he was in the kitchen and he could hear scratching and all this chaos down in his basement, and then this friggin' screeching and screaming sound. So he locked the door, grabbed his sister, and ran out the front door. When his parents got home, his dad went down to check out the basement. He said it was a total mess. Tools, their Christmas decorations, everything was just strewn about the basement. He didn't know how this person could have gotten in because all the windows were nailed shut. The only way in was down the door and the staircase. But there was a coal chute installed in the house from back in the day. I'm thinking that this is maybe something from the outside, kind of like a little laundry chute, but it was to get coal from the outside and put coal in from the inside. So that's the only thing that they could think of, is that this whoever came in, but it's a real tiny little thing, it's not like big enough for a person to get into. His neighbor came over and said, "You were definitely visited by the Jersey Devil." We're going to move into.
So I instantly just thought it was raccoons, but the neighbor said for sure.
For sure, it was the Jersey Devil.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, so one of those.
Yeah.
Water.
Okay, 1992, Jody Hillman was fishing when he saw a group of deer. Oh, so serene. There's like 7 or 8 of them.
White deer put his little nose in a babbling brook.
Yep,
and then bam!
Yep. When this animal flew down from the sky, ripping into the deer. And then it flew away.
With the deer, the little baby deer.
He just took his tiny little brain?
The brain, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Then in 1993, John Irwin, who's a park ranger, was driving along the Moleko River, and he saw a huge creature standing in the middle of the road. He stopped and he didn't dare back up or go anyplace. He was freaking out. So he said we just sat there and stared each other down.
What?
Until it decided to retreat and it ran back into the woods. Y'all,
it lost the staring contest.
Yeah, fuck that.
It sure did.
What did you say?
I love it. It lost the staring contest.
Okay. In 2011, Jessica Alec Navage, she was in 6th grade. Her and her Girl Scout group were camping in a cabin in the Pine Barrens. They were up late with their flashlights telling ghost stories when they heard a loud thud on the roof. She was the one that was voted to go out and check it out.
No!
Oh, man.
They did not like
Don't
her.
They
were like, send the weird girl. She definitely needs to do it. Aw, poor thing.
As she went out, she heard leaves rustling to her right. She turned and she saw this huge animal turning the corner, running away. It had a tail and wings. And she knew of the story, so she was like 100% sure that she had seen the Jersey Devil.
She went back and she said, "You guys, it's the Jersey Devil."
It is.
And they're like, "You're a badass
you
girl."
bitches. Yep, that's right.
She got her Jersey Devil sightseeing patch that season. Good for her.
In 2015, David Black was driving along Route 9 near a golf course when he saw what looked like a llama with wings flying away from the golf course. He took a video of it, and I guess you can see the video, but it's really grainy. You can't really see. It's kind of like just like this black blob flying, but then he actually has a picture of it, y'all. This is totally ridiculous. I will post it so you can see what it looks like. It looks like My Little Pony unicorn with brown fur flying in the air. It's so stupid.
It wasn't pink.
No,
there wasn't
it's
a rainbow
brown
on the butt.
No, but it looks like it's a stuffed animal that he kind of threw into the sky and took a picture of it. It's so dumb. Okay.
Is he in it? Dre's photoshopping Facebook page, and it wasn't very good. I love it.
Okay. Scott Mackin, dude, this guy has some balls. In 2016, he was driving through the Pine Barrens when he saw a 7-foot-tall black animal cross the street. What did he do? He pulled the fuck over and decided to run after it. So he's in the woods running after this thing. When he comes to a bunch of dead trees that were blocking his way, he stopped, but he looked in every direction to see which way he could have gone, and it was nowhere. So it just disappeared. So either it was like a demon and decided to disappear, or it flew away out of his sight. All right. Rob Locks is a guide in Pine Barrens, and he took this guy, this was like a documentary that I saw, he took this guy to the Witch's Well, which is deep in the Pine Barrens forest. Okay, this is how the story goes. In the 1730s, a witch decided to do a spell and bring the Jersey Devil to her, and she was going to trap it in the well. Well, something went wrong, y'all, and she got trapped down there with it too. So the settlers decided to build a stone structure over it to keep both of them in.
Of course.
So what this is it looks like a little like outhouse, and it's like a stone building. And they say in there is a well, and that is where the Jersey Devil is to this day. But then there's another place, y'all, and this is so scary. This freaked me the fuck out, okay? In the Pine Barrens, there's something called the Blue Hole. It's a deadly body of water in the middle of the forest. Looks like a little lake, but a lot of the rivers and the swamps in the Pine Barrens are like a muddy color, or it's mud, running mud. But this hole, this lake, is crystal clear. You can see just anything towards the bottom of it. There's no fish. There's no vegetation. It's non-existent. It's 130 feet in diameter, and they have no clue how deep it is. Some say it might even be bottomless. Some believe it's a portal or a gateway to hell, or an entrance.
You can have all my fucking notes. If someone said, I will pay you $1 million fucking dollars, Red, to step into this water and maybe swim a little bit. I don't know, just swim a couple feet. Nope, I would not do it. The thought of a bottomless,
no end in sight, and it's crystal clear.
No.
It's crystal clear. So there's an
that's a nightmare.
They interviewed this like dive team rescue guy, and he says that he over 25 years they've done 50 body recoveries, but he could not tell the amount of rescues that they have done. He says it's like a magnet. They have signs everywhere that says no swimming danger, but tourists and locals both go down there to party, and it's mesmerizing. He says when you go there, the water just calls you in there, and you could be like the best swimmer. Yeah, you could be the best swimmer.
Devil's water.
So they think that's where the Jersey Devil lives. He lives down into this blue hole, I guess. But God. I hate water. I love water, but like death by water just scares the crap out of me. Like
yeah,
that's
I've
just
almost
like,
died in water 3 times in
Yeah.
my life.
yeah, no.
I'm not,
Me
I don't,
too.
yeah, I do not play with water. No, thank you. I do not
Yeah.
want to visit there. I don't want to look for the Jersey Devil. We're not putting that on a
No.
list. We're not doing it. I'm putting my foot down.
Yeah.
Okay, I have some fun stuff now. Okay,
Okay. Thank
so
God.
since then, the mascot of basically New Jersey now is the Jersey Devil. So basically, anywhere you go in the Pine Barrens, I'm sure there's
I
like
love
at
it. They're
Applebee's,
embracing the
right?
evil.
I'm sure you could go to
Our
Applebee's
mascot.
and they have like the Jersey Devil, you know, burger and the
Yeah.
shot and like the cocktail and all that stuff.
You want a Jersey Devil or a double Jersey Devil?
The local hockey team, y'all, is the New Jersey Devils.
Love it. Dig it.
Bruce Springsteen, who is from New Jersey, wrote a song about
Ooh,
the Jersey Devil.
Fun fact. I'll have to look it up.
Six Flags Great Adventure and Safari. This is in the Jackson Township of New Jersey. Started in March of 2020. Started to build a roller coaster called the Jersey Devil. It is the
This is all
world's
their fault.
tallest.
They did this.
Yeah, the world's tallest, fastest, longest single rail coaster. But unfortunately, because of COVID, everything was halted. They went back to work on it in December of 2020. And they don't know when it's going to come out, but they're thinking probably towards the end of 2021 if all goes well. So you can actually go on YouTube and you can see the CGI point of view roller coaster. It looks pretty fun, y'all. I would totally do it.
No, thank
Now,
you.
Let's talk about TV shows. X-Files, y'all. OMG.
I was going to say, I thought there was an X-Files like this because X-Files is my jam. So there is.
It was so delicious, Red. Let me tell you, season 1, episode 5 of X-Files. They are so young,
yes.
so beautiful. Oh my God, Mulder is just, he's this haughty patootie. Oh my God.
Hello.
It's kind of like the Jersey Devil idea, but it really isn't the Jersey Devil. If you want to go back, I don't want to spoil it, but of course, this was like 30 years ago when it came out. It really isn't a Jersey Devil, but it's in New Jersey where they go and they hunt it and they find something else that's been doing this. But it was so delicious, so delicious. There's this one part where they are in like a factory, and of course Mulder is chasing after this creature, and the camera is on like a roof with some like just random shit, like, you know, like just trash and whatever. And he comes from the right of the screen, y'all, and he does a somersault down on this roof, kind of does like a little grunt, and then climbs back and starts running with his gun again. Delicious. I was like, what? I started cracking up. But you got to remember back 30 years ago, that was pretty cool. You know, like,
hell yeah.
Right?
Did he just do a somersault? Damn.
So then, hang on to your butts, as Red would say. A few minutes later, Scully does the same fucking thing in her dress.
And I bet hers was better.
Her polyester suit that's like red. Oh my God, I almost peed my pants. It was so beautiful. I loved it. Okay, so Paranormal State, this was in 2011. They did an episode on it. This was one of the very first ghost shows that was made in America before Ghost Adventures, before Ghost Hunters. And there's all this drama that goes along with this guy that started it. It was one of my favorite shows back in the day. I just loved it. So they did a whole episode on that because they're based over there on the East Coast. Destination Truth did one in 2010. There is a Supernatural episode, season 7, that was about the Jersey Devil. In 2017, there is an animation show. It's called Legend Quest. It's like a little cartoon. And it's kind of a paranormal thing. I did not know this. I have to check it out now because I think that's totally cool. But one of their episodes, episode 2, is all on the Jersey Devil. And then I found this movie. I was going to watch it. I was going to pay $2.99 on Amazon to watch it because it has Stephen Moyer in it. And I absolutely love Stephen Moyer. If you don't know who he is, y'all, he plays Bill on True Blood. And he's the one that can
Oh,
yes.
Suki.
So it's called The Barrens, and it's about a family that goes camping, and he may be high on mushrooms out there in the forest that he finds, because he starts going wackadoodle and starts seeing the Jersey Devil, but no one else is seeing him. It didn't look too well. I love him, but I didn't end up watching it. But there you go, y'all. The Jersey Devil.
That is so.
Stay on the East Coast, bitch. Oh, I have no intentions of looking for it anytime soon.
That sounds
good job, Timo.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Jersey Devil. Are you ready? The
badass story of the
week.
Woo! Trey, you badass. Tell us about a badass.
All right. So we have, thank you, Red, for sending this one over to me. In Arkansas. Of course, I wanted to say it wrong. And like, right. I never say it the wrong way. An Arkansas doctor by the name of Dr. Omar Atiq is an oncologist. He established the Arkansas. I'm reading it, so
You're doing
it. I sound so stupid. He established the Arkansas Cancer Institute in Pine Bluff in 1991, so 30 years ago. And he decided that it was time to retire. Instead of sending 200 patients a bill that would amount to $650,000, he sent them all a card saying, "We've decided to forego all balances owed to the clinic. Happy holidays."
Yes.
Oh,
isn't that amazing?
I think I saw that too. That is like amazing.
First.
I know. I just can't. I can't. He's, in his viewpoint, cancer is hard enough to deal with. He's like, being sick is hard, having cancer is harder, and having cancer in this pandemic is devastating. So he didn't want to, overburden his already sick patients. And just decided to be a total badass and let that go. He's working with the companies that usually send these people to collections to make sure that they don't see any negative thing going on to their credit.
Oh so my gosh, I love him.
Such a badass. Oh, I know.
My God, all the deals, damn it. So there's amazing people in this world, and he's definitely one of them. Holy hell. Mm-hmm. What did I do today? Nothing. Damn it.
You went hiking.
These badass stories make me want to be a badass. So I love that we do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love it. Good job, Dre.
Yay, Dre.
Fantastic. Everyone can be a badass, of course, and leave us a review on iTunes. Obviously a positive one. You got negative shit, go somewhere else. Positive only on iTunes. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. On YouTube right now, take a moment and comment your favorite serial killer, and your name will get put in for some fun swag. We want to give you guys some stuff. Check out our Patreon page. There are different levels. There are different opportunities to be a badass and support your favorite gals. You get different swag for each level. I spend I used to spend like $5 a day, let's say, on coffee from a place that we won't say right on the podcast. We're asking for $1 a month or $2 a month, right? There's different levels. I hope we're entertaining enough and you guys love us enough and you can help support us. We need equipment and shit, y'all. We just need it. We just do. Yeah. So opportunities to be a badass. Always feel free to message us. We love hearing from you. We love hearing from you guys. It makes our day. Email us at handcuffsandsage@gmail.com. We have a website that hopefully has stuff going on this year because 2020 was sad as shit. And that is handcuffsandsagepodcast.com. Can you guys think of anything else?
Nope.
Oh my goodness.
Did
Well,
great.
I want to say thank you to all our listeners. We really appreciate you. And I love that we get to do this. It feels good. It's for us, self-care, self-love. Yay.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. Okay. Hi, Naomi. Hi, Hilda. Hi, Jen. Oh, and my niece Sabrin, she listens. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl.
Hey. Okay, here we go. And remember, we do what we want. Hell yeah. All day, every day. All right. Bye.
All right.
See
Bye,
you
y'all.
later.
See ya.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you. Handcuffs and Sage is hosted by Red, Timo, and Dre in a shitty guest room in Los Angeles.
Theme music is Leave Now by We Are Wasted. Cover art done by Megan Winchester.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Show us some love on iTunes. Be a badass and do what you want. Until next time.